Leafs lose. Who knows the score? It didn't even matter after the first period. Let's be real. But I don't know if you watched Mark Din and I's podcast after game 2, and it was I noticed after we finished, I was like, we were just like so like down and like sitting like this, and we are in a best of 3 series right now against the reigning Stanley Cup champions, but we have home ice advantage. We've had our terrible game of the playoffs. That's out of the way. Lightning's had their terrible game of playoffs out of the way. We've had our terrible playoffs out of the way. It's time for them to prove that they're not the same team as in the past. And I still believe that this team can do it. What about you?
Yeah. I still feel like we're going to win the series.
Yeah.
But I wasn't even like, I was obviously pretty pissed that we lost, but at the same time, like deep down, I just knew for some reason, like we weren't going to win this game. It's like, oh, I was like, we won on the road already. The second one, I'm like, I doubt it. And then as soon as they scored, what was that, a minute in?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it's a loss. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even care. It's only 1-0. I'm like, yeah, it's a loss.
Yeah. We were both pretty chill about it because we watched together on Zoom, and we're both just like, it's not like the sky was falling. Did you see the video I sent? And it's going all over Leafs Twitter of the guy who was at the Tampa game, and he's like sitting down with the reporter, and he's talking about.
No.
Yeah, he's just like almost in tears talking about like, you guys need to show up, blah, blah, blah. Like, where's the passion? Something needs to change. And I saw a lot of comments from some people on one side saying like, you have no idea. Like, I went through the Ballard years. Like, we've been shit for so long. And then there's other people that were like, this guy's a true Leaf fan. Like, we're tied 2-2. And then there's people like me who's usually in the middle of stuff like that, who's like, I get it. I feel the same. It's just like we're watching John Tavares, and we'll get to John Tavares. We're watching Matthews only have 2 goals, and they're both in the first game of the series, and one was basically an empty net shot. And then John Tavares has done absolutely nothing. And Sheldon Keefe keeps bringing in Justin Hall, who we're all kind of like, why is he in? And they look like they played with no heart last night, right from the get-go. And then Tampa played well, but we also played terrible, And it's just like, I get that like sky is falling mentality.
Yeah.
I'm just at the point now in my Leafs fandom where it's like, there's no point in like, here's a question. Do you want Sheldon Keefe to go in and say, you guys need to wake the fuck up? Like, you're playing, that was a terrible game. Something needs to change. Or do you want Sheldon Keefe to be like, hey guys, it's like, yeah, that'll happen. Like it's a best of 3 series now. And I think you want a little bit of both, but you definitely want him to go in there, and you want guys in the dressing room to step up and be like, what the fuck was that?
I want him to do whatever he didn't do the last couple playoffs. Like, honestly, just do the opposite. Now, the only bright spot so far, like you said, Johnny T looked terrible. Mm-hmm. Matthews looked kind of weird last night. Like, he was just slightly off. But Mitch Marner, he was the one that everyone was actually looking at before the series started, and he's delivered.
Yeah.
And it's the new guys that have shown up and are leading the team, like Kampf. Even Blackwell looks energized out there.
Gio every game except for this one.
Yep. Bunting with his couple games.
Yeah.
So it's the new guys that I'm hoping say, like, come on, like, don't let the ghosts get you, because that's what it looked like last night, was that it was the old core guys that went, oh boy, I don't know if we can do it.
Yeah. Well, do you remember watching the speech Keefe gave before the overtime in game 6, I believe? And then that was the game where we came out. He gave that speech.
Yeah, wasn't that the one where he yelled at everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gave that speech, and we came out and we like outshot them 13-2 or something. And Dermott gave it away, and we lost that game. But that's the kind of energy we need. And I want to bring up John Tavares, because we're going to say some positive things, and we're going to be lively, because we got to believe. There's no point in watching if you don't believe that this can happen.
Yeah.
But something he just doesn't seem like he cares.
Yeah.
Do you not get that? Like, it just, he's
It's
rarely throwing the body. Like, he's just, even when he gets punched in the head, he's just like sitting there, like,
yeah.
it's just, where is that you need from a captain, a guy who's going to like sit on the bench and fire everyone up, and that's
Yeah. I
Morgan
think you
Riley.
were mentioning earlier, like we're watching the game and we're seeing Austin Matthews throw his body around. And even when he's getting hit, he's at least like laughing back at the guys. Like
Yeah,
he's doing stuff that I wish Johnny T would do.
yeah,
But at the same time, like you see a guy like Willie who it really doesn't look like he's trying, but he is at the same time.
mm,
But because like people were comparing him and Willie, like just looks like there's no passion, but it's a different kind of passion. I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it, but it's different.
yeah. And we also don't really know what the guys are like in the dressing room between periods, but I can't see a scenario in which Johnny T gives a speech in his monotone that's going to like fire up the boys, like
Yeah.
I feel like this is almost, I want to take some of the pressure off Johnny T and be like, look,
Yeah.
Austin, this is your team. Like, we can say all we want about John Tavares, makes $11 million. He's not playing up to par. He's winning some faceoff, even though last game his faceoff percentage was bad, I think.
Yeah. It was 48 or something.
Yeah. And it's just like, Austin, you've got 2 goals all in the first game. Like, you need to be better. You need to be the best player on the ice on both teams, because you are the best player on the ice on both teams. And if you don't perform, we're going to lose, So
Yeah.
I just think that he needs to really come out next game and prove that he's different than in the past series. And we made excuses for him, like, oh, his wrist was hurt. Year before, oh, it was the bubble. And then like we got goalied, whatever. Like, in the end, if there's a consistent pattern, you can't keep making excuses for certain players. And
Yeah,
Marner,
exactly.
what you said, Marner's played awesome. He's played like probably the most minutes, or at least top 3 minutes in the entire team. Played great on the penalty kill. He's always a threat out there. He's how many times has that guy just laid the body like just on the ice with Victor Hedman about to take a shot, or Steven Stamkos about to take a shot? That's passion, like,
and you wouldn't normally see that from him. So it's awesome to see.
Yeah. So let's get to a little bit more positive news and maybe some like things that we would change, because there are some positives.
Yeah, for sure.
Once again, we somewhat came alive in the third period, whatever that means. Jack Campbell did not have a bad game. Jack Campbell was hung out to dry by his team, and
it's a bit of both.
It's a bit of both, but I can only
the one that he was
goal.
completely whiffed on. That was pretty bad. That's when I knew there was no coming back.
Yeah, that was Braden Point, I think. But before then, like, all the plays were just terrible.
Yeah,
structure, and it looked like we were even talking on Zoom. It was like we looked like we're tired.
Yeah,
like everyone looked
really slow.
Yeah, but I said positive, so I think that Jack Campbell will be totally fine. We've scored 3 or more goals on Vasilevsky every single game this series.
Yes.
We're tied 2-2 in this series, and Austin Matthews has only had 1 good game. John Tavares has had 0 good games. William Nylander has had half a good game. And we're still tied 2-2 in the series. Now, you can look at it.
And going back to T.O.
Yeah, you can look at it like, okay, well, maybe there's not going to have good series. Or you can look at it like, that's going to be something that's going to change, And I personally think that coming home, Austin Matthews is going to be Austin Matthews, and him and Marner are going to connect for 2. And John Tavares is going to do something, because I just have to believe that. I have to believe that. Willie, I'm like, maybe this just isn't his series or whatever, but this is why my lineup proposition, I've told you before, is putting John Tavares on that first line with Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner. And just telling them, look, you guys make $33 million, over $33 million. If you can't score at least a goal or 2 this game, then you aren't elite. Like, who are you? Like, what's the point in having you?
Yeah.
And then you put Willie, Kerfoot, and Bunting on a second line because that's a fast second line. Last year in the playoffs, Kerfoot played center with Nylander and Galchenyuk. They were the 2-point leaders on the Toronto Maple Leafs, Kerfoot and Nylander.
Best line.
And that was Galchenyuk. You replace him with Bunting, who has more snarl to him. Galchenyuk couldn't even make the Coyotes this year. So, like, that's a potentially great second line. And hey, if it doesn't work out, if it turns out that Kerfoot can't compete against Cirelli or whoever he's matched up against, you might have to switch things back up. But it's worth a try, in my opinion. You have a third line of Kampf. I think Kasha and Mikheyev. I think that third line, the reason for that is because they're best friends, Kampf and Kasha.
Yeah, definitely.
They're all defensively sound. And whenever Engvall, I really like Engvall on that line, but whenever he's on a fourth line, that fourth line is the best fourth line.
Yeah.
Like, he 100%. Dominates. And he's fast, so you can put him with Spezza, you can replace that speed a little bit, put him with Clifford or Blackwell, sorry. And that's a fast fourth line that can still check. Because Blackwell's going to hit guys and fall down himself. He's still going to hit guys, you know?
Yeah.
So that's my thoughts on the lineup. What's your opinion on that?
So yeah, I would love to see that, especially our boy Kamikaze Kasha.
Yeah.
Who's just he hasn't been bad. He also hasn't been amazing.
Yeah.
But the one thing he doesn't do is throw games away. Like, he's not the guy that's gonna like give up a goal. Like, whenever he messes up, he doesn't. Like,
yeah.
He is just one weird player, and I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hem with Comp. You could put Hem honestly on any line, and it's gonna make some noise. So I like that. And yeah, like you said, Engvall, he's just really progressed, and just because before we'd always get so mad on his consistency where it's like, oh, he's either really good or the worst player. And he hasn't been the worst player.
He did have a bad game this game. I will say Engvall wasn't noticeable at all out there.
Who was good though?
Mikheyev was good. Mikheyev was good. The Cobra.
That's true.
Yeah.
He's probably been our best player this series.
He is someone else that I would even consider. Now, I know you like that third line to be defensive, especially when you have home ice last change. He would be someone I would consider possibly for that first line because he's playing with such intensity, such passion. Like, I feel like he could even be the guy that would yell at Austin Matthews in Russian and get him going, you know?
He's not yelling at anyone. And then, I would love that with Hall out.
Yeah, with Lily or Sandy. Now, I think it will be Lily because I think Keefe had a quote prior to this game saying Sandin is healthy, but we can't just throw him into a series because he doesn't have the reps.
Right, okay.
So in round 2, I could see Sandin coming in, but right now, I think you're going back with Lily, which I'm not upset about.
Yeah, he said he liked Lily at home and Justin on the road for some reason. So
who knows?
Just play Lily again, and if he does well, please play him in the next one away.
Yeah. And let's finish this thing out in 6 games. So, because we all know if it gets to 7, we're not having too much faith. Yeah. So you have a prediction for next game. We'll end off with some predictions.
Yeah. Okay. I guess score prediction.
Score prediction.
Okay. I'm going to say it's going to be a 4-1 Leafs win with a Tavares 2 assists.
All right.
He's not going to get a goal. I think he's going to get 2 assists.
Okay. See, we still have faith in you, John. We still have faith.
Yeah. You can do it.
I'm going to go 5-3 with an empty netter. I think it's going to be, our hearts are going to be going, but I think we're going to end up pulling it out because we're going to show that we're different, and then we're going to go to Tampa and we're going to close them out.
That would be sick. Yeah. We have to do it in 6.
Yeah, we have to do it in 6. Yeah, so we here still have faith. Let us know in the comments if you still have faith, what you think of our lineup proposition.
Yeah.
And also, let us know what you think if there's an issue with Sheldon Keefe in not being able to get the guys going for certain games.
Yeah. How do you think he should talk to them?
Yeah. Do you think it's
Yell
on the
at 'em.
players or the coach or both? And what one do you think is lacking more right now? Personally, I don't know. They just look tired.
I know,
They
it's such a
looked
hard
tired.
call.
It didn't look like they weren't motivated. It just looked like they weren't tired.
Yeah, they just look gassed
Yeah,
from the
which is
get-go.
weird. Weird. Maybe they all went out in Tampa. Who knows? Maybe Tom Brady took him out to be a saboteur, and you're probably not saying no to going out with Tom Brady. So who knows? All right, that's it for us today on Leafs and Lads. We're gonna win tomorrow night. We'll hit you with the post game. Hopefully, we will be very happy.
Yep.
And then we're gonna finish them out in Tampa Bay.
Woo! Go Leafs!